Okay, I'm back. So it's been a couple of hours since I last did the last video. I come armed with caffeine. And we're going to continue from where we left off, which was basically we've finished the train. We've got the ship running. We'll run the program just to make sure it's going. So go to thrust. We can crash into the train. Okay. Now we need something, our goal. So our goal is to rescue some characters. So just like the train, like I said, it's the same thing. We just have to put some sprites, look for some collisions. Instead of killing this, instead of destroying the ship, we're going to just basically switch it to rescued. So let's have a look how we do that. So I'm going to do something very similar to what I had here for the train. I'm going to make a little procedure that's 655. Let's put it here. So make a little procedure that is proc astro. I'm going to called astro. Draw astronauts. Okay. So we go def proc define procedure astro bing bing. So I won't get too musical there. Okay, 665. So I'm going to restore. Okay, let's see where we can do it. So like we had with the landscape, we're going to put the data 720. Yeah, let's restore 720 because I'll put the data statements there. 670. Okay, now unlike the terrain, I don't need to have a record of different, I guess, different shapes like wall, cliffs and flat surfaces. They're going to be the same sprite. The only difference is they're going to be at different physical locations. Now, like I did with the terrain, oh, excuse me, I went through the through that tile map and wrote down some coordinates. So here we go. And hopefully these are in the right order, unlike my landscape sprites, which were a little bit out of whack. So we're going to go for, let's do a loop. 0 to 2 or 1 to 3, doesn't really matter. Okay, we'll go read A, comma B, which are the two coordinates. And we're going to say, okay, well, sprite 0 is our player. No, sprite 99 is our player. Okay, 0 is free, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to ignore sprite 0 because the sprite collision returns 0 if there's no collision, and it returns 128 if there was collision on sprite 0. So just to simplify that down, I'm going to just number them from 1, 2, 3. So sprites 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to say, let's make that 1 to 3. It's much easier then, rather than 0 to 2. 675. We're going to go sprite, and it's going to be I, sprite that, and it's going to be A times 16 because it's blocks plus BRDR, just to position it at the right place in pixels. B times 16 plus BRDR. Okay, we want the sprite pattern of the little character. So ship, character, so 0, 1, 2, and of course 1 to display it. And 680 next I, and 690. Let's go 685 and proc. Right, so let's add that to our game. So astro. Okay, let's go sprite clear, just to clear those sprites. Okay, 25 proc astro to draw the astronauts. Right, so we do this before we get to the game loop. Let's see if that works. Okay, so out of data. And the reason for that is I forgot to put it in there. Oh, Kev, you dummy. So Okay, just so I know what the data is about. Right, okay, so 725 data. There's only 3 of them, so we just go 3, 9, which is the first one, 8, 10, and 14, 8. Cool. So let's change this to another revision number. Let's see. Yes. Okay, so we should be able to, whoop, yep. Okay, so great, they're there. So it's very clear just to wipe those off. Okay, simple, they're on screen, and all we need to do to see if we've rescued a character has played Crash in the Landscape. Cool. Okay, 170. Let's 171 has player rescued an astronaut. Let's get that grammar correct before the grammar police come and harass me. Okay, 175. Whoops. 175. Okay, so if percent, and again we do the same thing. Let's get the collision information over. Okay, it's a sprite 99, which is our player, comma, and there's 1, 2, 3 to look for those 3, and I might have just an overlap for that as well. So yeah, let's do another proc. We'll call it rescue. Okay, so what rescue will do? We've got terrain, we've got astronaut. Okay, we've got 700 here. Let's go 750. Get a bit of gap in there, of course. Proc rescue. It's probably got spelling mistakes in some of these comments, but right. Okay, so define procedure, and it's rescue. Bang bang. Okay, 760. So what we're going to be looking for is he's rescued one. So we say, okay, we've got the astronaut, and what we need to do is we need to find out which astronaut we've rescued, and we need to blank it out or remove it. Now the problem I have here is I don't know exactly which one was rescued. So what I'm going to do is, for my procedure, I'm still going to have a procedure there, but I'm going to go up and I'm going to just go, first of all I'm going to grab the thing it's collided with, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass that as a parameter to the rescue proc, so it knows which one that's been rescued and which one to disable. So what we're going to do is change our code. We're going to go let can get, oops, okay, we can get that into a variable, and then we could go proc rescue and then the variable name. Okay, now we could also just put that into here as well, but I think just for extrapolating out, I'm going to do it like this. Okay, so there's more efficient ways of doing a lot of stuff in here. We'll look at that maybe in a video near the end, how to kind of fudge some of these things and get a bit more speed into them. So get the value into there, and then we go proc rescued, and we're going to use that to check, have I rescued something, okay, rather than doing the if statement there. Okay, so what you do to add a variable in here, we just go sprite num or something like that. Okay, and what that'll do is it'll actually pass that variable or that value into here as a like a little parameter. So if SPR num is greater than 0. Okay, it's equals 0. Let's try that. Then and proc. Okay, first of all, we're going to say, is it even rescued a character or an astronaut? So I'm going to have another drink of my coffee. You can tell I'm starting to burble. Must be lack of caffeine. So we're going to say, if it's 0, then we'll just end straight away, and we'll just return back to our kind of main routine there. Otherwise, we've obviously got one of them. So we're just going to go, let's put a little beep in there, why not? 0.5, 40. Might as well put like a sound effect. There's that bug again. Okay. And we're going to go sprite. And it'll be SPR num, because that's the sprite that was kind of the value that was taken from that collision and passed through to this procedure. Comma. And remember, we don't need to set any values because we want to recycle the old ones. So we just have commas in there. So X, Y, sprite, and the last one is the flag. If we say 0, blanks it out. 770. Okay, we're going to set the vertical. We're going to tell it, okay, you've rescued the character. I'm going to set you into thrust mode to start firing you up towards the top of the screen, where we're going to have our little rescue dock, I guess, up there to basically drop our astronaut off on. So let's let, I think it's called vert equals, and it'll be a negative number because I'm going to push it up, and I'm going to push it at 8 because that'll just fling it up into the air. I'm going to push it about 4 and 7, 7, 5 and proc. Okay, so what it's going to do, first it's going to check. Didn't touch one. Okay, let's just end it. Otherwise, let's make a beep noise. Let's blank out that sprite. Let's set the up velocity to -4, and then we'll return back. So let's have a look. Go to 9999 just to save it. Okay, let's see. Okay, so that worked. I crashed. So let's try that again. I just want to test that. Send the fires up a little bit. And crashed. Okay, so it's looking like it's working. So I'm going to try once more. I'm going to rescue one just to make sure it actually is going to disable it. Okay. And try coming back. Okay. Okay, so that's right. So once it's not drawn anymore, it doesn't see it. And there's like a little bit of a hop. Okay, so that's looking pretty good. Okay, let's just get sprite clear just to bink. Now there's one thing here you might notice, that some of these lines are getting hard to read because they're going out, especially the comments. So if you wanted to work with a slightly higher resolution, like more characters in here, there is on the Spectrum Next a command called Spectrum. And what you can do is go Spectrum $$ space 64. And it gives us 64 characters across, and means we can have it sometimes a bit more readable for long lines. Okay, so I might work on that for a while. Now, if you want to go back, and again, you just go Spectrum command $$ and go 32, and it's back to normal. So let's put it at 64. Okay, so rescued astronaut. Okay, we've got a routine for that. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to just add to the very top, I'm going to add the shuttle, oh, not shuttle, the dock, so we can at least drop off the astronaut. And then we're going to put in a little bit of logic, so it makes it a bit more challenging. So we have to be at a certain slow speed to pick up and to dock our ship. But all these rules we'll add in as we go, so let's have a look. So I want to set up, in fact, I'm just put it as a line under here. I'm going to go sprite. So I've got 5 to 21 is our landscape. 1 to 3 are our characters. 99 is our player, which means 4 is free. So let's go sprite 4, and we'll make that our docking station. So let's go sprite 4. Okay, let's put it across and make it at the very top of the screen. So make it about let's make it 100 plus border, comma, and let's put it at the top. BRDR. Try and keep that in there in case we decide we want to change that at some point. Okay, it will be sprite pattern, and I've got them written down here. I believe it's number 11. And visible. Okay. Let's save that quick. Let's run it and see if it actually appears there. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's definitely going to need the multi-key press thing. Okay, so the dock's there as well. So we're going to just have to add in a couple of things. Going to have to add in a switch that says, okay, am I docking or am I rescuing a character? Okay, so you don't want to get to the dock and go, you rescued a character, but I have no idea if you rescued a character. So we need some kind of variable in there to track that too. Okay, so let's add in the docking station and the rescuing thing. So just somewhere in here, sprite 0. Let's just add another variable in here. What should we call it? Mission equals, we'll say 0. 0 for rescue, and we'll use maybe a value of 1 for, and I'll write this down actually before I forget. It's got mission. Yeah. Sometimes it's worth writing things down. Sometimes it's easy to forget while you're kind of typing this stuff in. So mission is going to just be a little variable that I'm going to switch, because we're going to have to rescue astronaut and then dock with a thing at the top. So let's have a look. Go down. Okay, so we've gone and displayed the sprite. Has player crashed into the landscape yet? Nope. Has player rescued an astronaut? Okay, so let's do another check. Has player decided to docked? Okay, so if, okay, we're not going to pass a parameter to something, so if sprite over, okay, and there'll be 99, comma, and we know it's sprite number 4. Okay, now it has to be mission docked, right? So I've got a value. The whole idea of the value is to switch it. So you have to rescue the astronaut and you have to dock to the top to save him. So if it's greater than 0, it means we've docked there. And mission equals 1. Then, and I'll do another thing in a minute. Then I'm going to, let's go beep. 0.5, 0, just a sound. I'm going to replace all these sounds out with something a bit more, I guess, cooler later on. But for now, I'm just putting them in there to signal something. Okay, I'm going to go, let mission. Let's keep that standard going. Equals 0, back to rescue. and then that, and it should then beep. Mission is 0, and then we let vert equals 2. So have it just drop down. So maybe it's just kind of released. Maybe I'll make it 1. Okay, let's make 2. We don't want it to fire down. Now, that's what's going to happen when you've docked and dropped off an astronaut. It's going to change the mission back to rescue. And it's going to set the velocity so it starts going down. Now, what happens if it doesn't? Then we need to think about, okay, if we've done it, oops, and mission. Okay, for some reason it doesn't like that. Okay. Now, the reason it doesn't like this is because when you start a function, or in this case it's like a Boolean statement, where you're going if, and you have a percent at the beginning, then it assumes everything in that if blah 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 to be one of these integer type statement or variables. Okay, so usually it would mean that mission would have to be one of these special values or variables in the Spectrum Next, because it's not a integer variable, and we'll probably talk about this later on if you're not familiar with what these are. We need to just kind of encapsulate or wrap anything that's not one of these fancy variables with the word int and then curly braces, just to make it translate it to work with that. Now, what happens if the mission was 0, was rescue, and you flew up and hit that? You should really die. I mean, you've kind of failed the mission. Now, you'll notice that this is getting a little bit convoluted. So how are we going to do that? Well, we could have one if sprite over, and then just say if mission was 1, then do this. If mission was 0, then do that. So perhaps what we need to do is we need to flip that into a proc. It's probably the easiest way to do it. Then proc we'll call it mission complete. Right. So let's go and add this. Okay, so let's add in here. Let's go 7. Let's put 780. Why not? In fact, no. Let's be safe because there's a bit of gap in there in case we need to expand our code. 801 proc. Okay, 802. Okay, so here's our proc. We got 805. Define proc dot def proc, and it's that. Okay, we're not going to pass a variable to it. We don't need to, because we're not looking at one of 3 different things. So, oops, it's not 510, 810. Right. So we get if. Okay, mission equals 1, then we're fine. Then we go vert. Okay, so we go beep. Let's put that same code in there. Nope. Vert equals 1. Okay, and what else did I do? And then let mission equals 0. And then we'll just end the print. Oh, there's that bug again. Okay. And then we'll just end proc there, which will just exit straight away. Okay, otherwise means that we should be rescuing, which is tut tut, naughty naughty. Proc. I think we had Proc dead, I think, took care of that. Let's have a look. There we proc dead. Now, I'm not sure if this is good practice, to be honest. With it calling a proc within a proc that then gets out of that game loop. Might, or out of a proc. Might not be good practice, but we'll have a look. And we can change this anyway. So, save it first before something bad happens. Let's have a look. Okay, so mission 0. Okay, so let's have a look. Okay, so rescue. We forgot to set the mission here. Okay, so we switch it to mission rescue. Okay. Now we do have to add one more thing in here. And the thing we need to add in here when we rescue someone is to make sure that we rescue them. Excuse me, another caffeine hit. When we rescue them, we're going at the right speed. Suddenly realized, well, maybe we'll add that. No, let's add it now. Okay, so 760, running out of space, so let's put in here. If vert is greater, then let's go in plus for down. If it's greater than 3, so if it's traveling too quick, then proc dead. Okay, and then we might end proc there, but no, I'll just leave it there. Okay, so in here for mission equal 1 and vert is greater than less than, so it's greater than 3 if it's so we need to go it's greater than -2. -3, here we go. Okay, so just suddenly realized I've got this one around the wrong way. It has to be smaller than thing. Is that bigger number? Okay, so let's test that. Must have been traveling too fast. Let's try that again. So if it was 0 and print 0. Okay, so something's not right here. This will do a little bit of problem solving, and I'll get this fixed, and then I might stop the video here because we're almost at 30 minutes again. So I'm going to keep breaking this into 30-minute chunks. So terrain, astro. Let's have a look. So rescue if the vertical. Okay, so falling is a smaller, oh, okay, greater than 3. Duh. Okay, so it's going faster than that. I got that one wrong, didn't I? Okay, and this one's fine because it's making sure it's a safe speed. So let's go 9999. Just make another revision number. I think that will have fixed that. So let's give that a test. So Let's run that. Cool, that worked. Okay, let's see if it'll work. Let's see if it'll blow up when I hit that. Nope. Okay, so going too fast. Okay, so definitely we need to check that rescue one. Okay. Okay. So it is going 3 is too fast, or mission equals 1. Okay, so it needs to also check. I hadn't checked to see if we were actually supposed to be docking at the time. So okay, get one more test and then I think I'll save it at that. So now let's test it. So when we kind of go to rescue this guy, it should blow up because we're supposed to dock first. Perfect. Okay, let's get one more save because cool. And what I'll do is I'll come back in the next video and we've got our docking, we've got our rescue. Looks like we've got things going. So it looks pretty good. So what we're going to do is we just need to add some kind of flags into it that just count whether we've completed the game or not, and maybe some kind of either fuel or something that's going to give us a challenge rather than just the rescue part. So I'll see you in the next video.